Hi folks, it's Josh here for the Heavy Hockey Network post-game show after an exciting 8-2 victory for the Edmonton Oilers on the road. It is 7:30 local time here in Nova Scotia and I just finished the game um, and I'm sitting here enjoying a cup of coffee after the fact, celebrating, partaking in a hot beverage to celebrate the victory. And that is because after game one, I stayed up till 2 in the morning here to watch game one and watch the giveaway and the disappointment of a one-goal loss late in a playoff game. It was pretty disappointing. So game two, after the first period, um, I rolled over during the intermission and I closed my eyes and I said, if my eyes open when the second period starts, I'll watch the second period. And if they don't, I'll just get up and watch it in the morning. And that's what happened. I fell asleep and watched it in the morning, and we came out to a dominant 6-0 victory. And I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious. So I did the same thing last night. First intermission, I decided not to pay too much attention to the game after that. I got up and watched it in the morning, and here we are, 8-2, another great victory. So I'll take my lopsided victories with coffee in the morning after the fact any day over staying up till 2 a.m. for the heartbreak. So you can thank me for this large win. You can thank me for the number of goals they scored. It's obviously all on me. Now, this game reminded me a little bit of the 1984 Stanley Cup Final. And obviously, it would remind LA Kings fans of the 1982 Miracle on Manchester when the Oilers blew the largest blown lead in playoff history, 5-0. And of course, we've had 5-0 leads the last couple of games. But why this reminds me of the 1984 final of all things is I had a copy of that final on VHS, and I still have games 3 and 4 on VHS. And I know some of you were looking up to see what that even means. But the Oilers won both of those games 7-2. And it was just high-octane offense, fighting through playoff-style hockey, and being able to dominate and score goals. And that's exactly what's happening here. The Oilers are able to find a way to score goals. And why it also reminds me of '84 is because last night was the first real playoff-type game, in my opinion, that this team has had to suffer through. I'm not one to complain about the officials, but they were horrible last night in terms of what they like to do is game management, and they allowed the LA Kings to do a lot of crap after the whistle to try and suck these Oilers stars into taking stupid penalties, trying to get them frustrated, and it did not work. I know last year the media was hard on the officiating and saying that McDavid didn't draw one penalty in the 4 games and kind of blaming the sweep on that, but we got to be honest, we did not deserve to win last year. It just wasn't the right kind of team to win a series. It wasn't the right kind of coach to help them win a series. This year, they are fighting through and they're not getting sucked in. They're actually battling and they're getting success off of it. And I think the officials let a lot of things go last night. It's clear the LA Kings have decided they can't match the skill and the speed of the Oilers. And they've already shown their hand early. It's only game 3 and they've already basically given up, saying, we have to slow you down, we have to grab you, we have to cross-check you, we have to get in your face after the whistle and try and take you off your game, because simply playing our game as the LA Kings isn't good enough to beat your game. That's what I took away from game 3, and that really excites me, because even with all that garbage, it didn't stop the Oilers from scoring, it didn't stop them from doing what they do, and here we are 8-2. So it reminds me a lot of when they broke through. Now, I know it's different circumstances from the Stanley Cup Final in 1984 against the Islanders, 4 times in a row champions, versus first round here in the LA Kings. But it's an excellent trend, and it's very exciting to think about the fact that this team can even remind me of that era of the glory days. And as a fan who's watched both, I'm very excited for where this team could go. Now, the other reason it reminds me of the '84 Stanley Cup Final is because the Oilers tended to break out in the second period. The games were tight in the first, it was tight matched, tight checking, and the Oilers were able to break out with their high-octane offense from the second period on. And the Oilers have shown themselves to be a second-period team in these playoffs. It's like Rocky Balboa, and you got Clubber Lang coming at you.
Ain't so bad! Ain't so bad! Ain't so bad! Come on, ain't so bad! You ain't nothing! Come on, you must be crazy or something!
They just let them hit them, let them come at them, let them get in their face, and they pick their moment, and then boom, counter. When the LA Kings have thrown everything they could at them, the Oilers came back and they kept scoring, and they did not take their foot off the gas. They just kept going, kept going, kept going, and that's what we need to do in a 7-game series. We had Zach Hyman scoring his first ever 3-point playoff game, and I love the way he did it. And this goal in particular we're going to show here is a typical playoff goal. That this is what they need to do. So Draisaitl takes a big hit to get the puck out of the zone. Hyman wins a battle, shoves off his defender, and even the last second stick lift attempt, he managed to fight through that and still get his shot away, and he buried it. And those are the kinds of little small battles that are won. And especially, like I said, that last second stick lift that he avoided and was able to still get his shot away, and a really, really nice shot.
Draisaitl plays the puck out of the zone, racing after it is Zach Hyman. Hyman has it. Hyman on the move. Shoots. Scores! Top shelf goes Zach Hyman, and it's 4-zip.
Those are the types of goals that they weren't getting last year. Those are the types of goals they are getting this year, and they have been for some time. I don't see it slowing down, because of the compete level of this roster. I love it. I love it. I love it. And of course, we had Evander Kane with his first ever career playoff hat trick in the NHL. So here come the hats. Keep that tradition alive.
In each game, it has a different set of obstacles and adversities they're going to deal with, and you don't know what they're going to be, so you set yourself up. Beautiful. There's a goal by Evander Kane. Hat trick. That's 3 for him tonight.
I love that we had a late power play, and we didn't even have to put our big guns on. I thought that was a smart move by Woodcroft, giving other players a little bit of time on the power play and not giving the LA Kings any sort of motivation, no sign of rubbing it in their face. It was just a great game. And another thing, when Brendan Lemieux was running around like a donkey with his head cut off, just a gong show all night. And when he took a run at Kassian there in the third period and finally got ejected from the game for trying to challenge the Oilers bench, he was just nonsensical all night. It was frustrating, but Tyson Barrie, you know, he kept his head with a couple of cross checks throughout the game from Lemieux.
Deflection was right there to pounce on it, and there's the cross check on Tyson Barrie coming in by Lemieux.
And the Oilers kept their head, and I really loved Kassian's response too. Just a little bit of a poke, go over, chat to him, say, listen, I see you, baby, but it's not time to deal with it now. We'll get you later.
The lineup for game 2. A masterful change by Jay Woodcroft, and now we've got a penalty coming up to the Kings. And Kassian and Lemieux are having words away from the puck.
If we even have to. We obviously don't seem to have to right now, but if it comes to it, I got your number. I know what's going to happen, but there's no need to do it right now, and you can just go home, go to the room, and we'll just walk away with our victory, especially on the road. I love it. They had the little mind games at the start of the game when the arena staff wouldn't let the Oilers start their practice and they wouldn't give them the nets, and I actually find that kind of entertaining. I thought that was kind of funny and amusing. But the Oilers handled it well again, didn't let it bother them. They're just all business. They have bigger goals in mind. They have bigger fish to fry than this. And not that you can move ahead, but where they are and what they're doing and how they're handling this series, it goes to show where they are mentally. And the last thing I'll note is we have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with a 3-point night, and not just a 3-point night, a 3-point third period. And not just a 3-point third period, but basically a 3-point last 5 minutes. Geez, he had 3 points in a 5.5-minute span there near the end of the third. I very much enjoyed that. It's nice to see him break through. He deserves it. It's nice to see that line come through. And that pass by Archibald, what a turnaround backhand pass. That was.
Get it out, he does, and on the attack is Josh Archibald. Tipped into the net by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
A lot of fun to watch. And Mike Smith held his own again. I got to give him full credit again. It's one of those things where I was watching the first period, and I knew the Oilers were going to break through at some point, and I was just sitting there actually saying in my head, just don't lose us this game. Just don't lose it. Just keep us close right now, and I promise you we will reward you for it. And my prayers were answered. He did a great job holding the fort down when he had to. Again, kudos to him. I'm excited for him. I love confident Mike Smith. He looks very comfortable in there all of a sudden, very confident. I'm glad he was able to recover from the game one and move on. And I'm glad we all moved on. And here we are. A lot of enjoyment out of this game, I got to say. I know not just because it's A2, but I guess it's just the vibe around the team is very exciting, very fun to watch. And like I said, it's shades of the olden days. Jay Woodcroft, man, I don't know how he did it, but I'm really glad he's here, and I'm really glad they're doing it. And I'm looking forward to, obviously, our next game on Sunday. And, of course, because it's a Sunday, they decided to have it in the afternoon. No, they sure didn't. It's still 11 o'clock start here on the East Coast. I guess I'm going to be keeping my routine of seeing what happens in the first intermission, closing my eyes and seeing how it goes. And hopefully we pull through again. And the main thing I'm going to look out for on Sunday when I watch the game is not on the Oilers side. I think I know what to expect from the Oilers now. They've been very consistent for a long period of time since Woodcroft has taken over the team. It's what kind of LA Kings team we're going to see as an opponent. Are we going to see a more skilled, focused team that attempts to play a little bit of hockey, or are we going to see this over-physical, desperate team who's kind of put all their chips on the table already, trying to take people off their game and instead of playing their own, trying to make sure the Oilers can't play theirs? Is that what's going to happen? And how will the Oilers respond to it? How long can they stay mentally focused and disciplined? Now, from the Oilers side, I don't think we should worry about that too much. We've proven we can handle it. We should just stick to our game and continue to do what we do. If the Oilers can just keep their blinders on and keep focused and get through this another game, I think that'll tell us a lot about how far this team is going to go when they start to face more playoff hardened competition if they get through this first round. It'll show us a lot about what kind of character and what kind of team we're dealing with. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle it. And I'm looking forward to our Heavy Hockey Postgame show after that game to talk all about it. So make sure that you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure you follow us on social media. And enjoy the hockey.